Hello, people. Hello, people. Good evening, good morning. Another beautiful day. Yup. Hope your five senses work. Hope your health and strength is good. And today's the 18th of January. Time flies, don't it? The month is almost over. Coming up on the first year of completion for the Steam Deck, huh? Alright. What's up, Steam Deck fans? Steam Deck Tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion, what's good? Steam Deck Mod, what's up? And the Steam Deck Squad. Okay, PC and games, I got a little bone to pick with you. So let me get this straight. Are you trying to, with this article that you have, are you trying to tell me that Jedi Survivor can't run on the Steam Deck? Is that what you're telling me? So you PC and games, you do know that AMD just had a seminar on the 4th of January, and they showed off Jedi Survivor. So if AMD showed off Jedi Survivor, right, and Valve teamed up with AMD, don't you think that Jedi Survivor can run on the Steam Deck? Oh, okay. Oh, remember that question I asked? That question I asked months ago, even it's going on almost years now. When the Steam Deck first came out, I asked this question: is it half a gig of RAM for the OS and 15.5 for games? Is it 1 gig of RAM for the OS meaning operating system, and 15 for games? So PC and games, are you trying to say that the Steam Deck can't run Jedi Survivor? Let me get this straight. If 1024 makes a terabyte, I'm supposed to be sitting there worried about 130 gigs in storage? Is that what you're trying to say here? Listen to this. Star Wars Jedi Survivor specs leave Steam Deck users concerned. What Steam Deck user concerned? Let me get this straight. If 1024 makes a terabyte, I'm supposed to be worried about 130 gigs in storage for the game? A whopping? Is that what you're saying? PC and games, you guys said it's a whopping 130 gigs in storage for Jedi Survivor, right? But 1024 makes a terabyte, and I'm supposed to be worried about 130 gigs in storage? Are you serious? Anyway, listen to this. Star Wars Jedi Survivor specs leave Steam Deck users concerned. What Steam Deck users? It must be the haters. But anyway, it says here, the demanding Jedi Survivor specs are making some members of the Steam Deck community unsure whether Star Wars games will run on Valve's handheld gaming PC. I'm going to ask you this again. AMD just did a seminar on the 4th of January this month, and I was watching it, and they showed off Jedi Survivor, AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. So let me get this straight. Valve teamed up with AMD for the Steam Deck. So if AMD shows the shows Jedi Survivor running on the Steam Deck, if AMD shows Jedi Survivor running, are you trying to tell me that the Jedi Survivor can't run on the Steam Deck? Anyway, let me keep going here. It says here, the Steam Deck community is concerned that the system won't be able to run Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm going to ask this question again. Valve said we could not find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. So the Steam Deck is Windows and Linux, PC, right? So I'm gonna go back to that question I asked again. Is it half a gig of RAM for the OS and 15.5 for games, or is it 1 gig of RAM for the OS and 15 gigs of RAM for the game? Don't get me started. Anyway, let me keep going here. It says here, the Steam Deck community is concerned that the system won't be able to run Star Wars Jedi Survivor based on the game specs. The portable system has so far proven it can handle many AAA games. Oh, and by the way, the Division situation, Ubisoft need to take care of that. But anyway, it says, but increase in hardware demands means not everything can run on Valve's gaming PC. The Steam Deck ain't even out its first year yet. And you guys are trying to make it look like the Jedi Survivor can't run on the Steam Deck. But I'm going to say this question again. Is it half a gig of RAM for the OS and 15.5 for games? Or is it 1 gig of RAM for the OS and 15 for games? Remember, Valve teamed up with AMD. So, Valve didn't team up with AMD for nothing. They knew what they were doing. So, if AMD just had a keynote seminar showing off Jedi Survivor, it can run on the Steam Deck. But anyway, says here, given how lofty Star Wars Jedi Survivor system requirements are, some Steam Deck users aren't sure Respawn Entertainment will be able to run on the PC. A discussion over on Reddit highlights some of these worries, with a whopping 130 gigs footprint raising more than a eyebrow. Okay, for all you non-computer people, 1024 makes a terabyte, right? 1024 gigs makes a terabyte. Subtract 130 gigs from a terabyte. How many am I left with? And you guys are worried about Jedi Survivor on the Steam Deck? Are you serious? Anyway, it says here, at the time of writing this, no performance indicator have been provided for the Star Wars game, either making it even harder to judge how well it run on the Steam Deck, if at all. Not to mention the fact that owners of the 64 gig models, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere, 64 gig models will need to arm themselves with the best Steam Deck SSD card option just to fit it on the handheld. I'm gonna say this again. Okay, 1024 makes a terabyte, right? Okay, makes up 1024 gigs makes a terabyte, right? Okay. So I subtract 130 gigs from 1024. That makes up the terabyte. How many gigs am I left with? And we supposed to be sitting here worried about Jedi Survivor not running on the Steam Deck? You all can't be serious. Anyway, let me keep going here. Says here, suffice to say, there's a degree of uncertainty about whether the system hardware is up to task. Oh boy. Some hope that the Steam Deck 2 will pack more performance so more games can run on it. The Steam Deck ain't even out its first year yet. And you guys are worried about Star Wars Jedi Survivor running on the Steam Deck. let me put it like this. Valve wouldn't make that statement if Valve wouldn't make that statement by saying we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. They wouldn't make that statement if they weren't sure. They did not team up with AMD for nothing. Remember that. And I'm gonna say this again. Is it half a gig of RAM for the OS and 15.5 for games? Or is it 1 gig of RAM for the OS and 15 for games? Okay. And if I subtract 130 gigs from 1024 gigs, that makes a terabyte. Are you still trying to tell me that Jedi Survivor can't run on the Steam Deck? Do not get me started when it comes to this gaming stuff. Anyway, says hopefully we'll see some clarification from developers before Star Wars Jedi Survivor release date. But there's no guarantee we can expect good news on Steam Deck compatibility. If the first by the way, if the first Jedi Fallen Order works on the Steam Deck, and Valve is, by the way, Valve is working with EA and Respawn. So, are you trying to tell me that Jedi Survivor can't run on the Steam Deck? Let me know in the comment section. But that's the end of the article. To me, this article just like makes no sense to me. You know, I'm supposed to be concerned over 130 gigs in storage when 1,024 gigs makes a terabyte. I'm supposed to be worried. I'm supposed to be quivering with fear. Really? Let me get this straight. So Valve teams up with AMD, okay, and there's a thing called FSR, if you Fidelity Super Resolution, right? Okay, all right. And AMD just did their keynote seminar for the year on the 4th of January, and they showed off Jedi Survivor. And you're still trying to, and you are concerned that Jedi Survivor won't run on the Steam Deck, and EA is working with Valve to make sure their games work on the Steam Deck. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Or Dark Side. Go. Peace.